Those of you who think I came to bring peace, I did not come to bring peace, but I came to bring a sword. Now, most of you, this should sound very familiar. In fact, if you're a Christian, this should ring very true. It came from the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 34. So understand when I say this, I'm not in any way comparing myself to divinity, to Christ. But it explains a lot of why I do what I do. So I think it's only appropriate I start out this way, as this will be a segment called Putting Things to the Sword. Now, how do you differentiate this from any other video that I've done? Well, I'll make this very simple for you. When I do That's How You Feel, I am talking mostly about ideals, things I've heard, and I give my take on it. But when it comes time to put things to the sword, I'm directly engaging a certain demographic of people. I am directly engaging certain kinds of people. Let me just say it straight out. I am engaging people who I believe need to be engaged. More importantly, I want to explain this concept before I go into who I'm talking about for tonight's video. You see, some people may feel that you should, come from a place of caring, which I do. But I believe that in order to fix a problem, in order to help fix a community, you must take measures. Some of you may know what I'm about to reference, and those of you who don't, I'm going to post it from one of my old videos. Now, in one of my older videos, I put out this concept that I took from an anime, but it rings true. It's called the law of equivalent exchange. That is, in order to get something, you must give something. In order to create something, you guessed it, you have to destroy it. So when I'm putting things to the sword, understand I mean to destroy it, because out of its remnant, I believe I can find something worth saving and then rebuild it up. Like the military, the first thing they do to you in basic combat training is they break you down. So when they remake you and they rebuild you, you're strong. Now tonight, I want to take a moment really to address these hotep niggas. Now I understand you guys are going to be uncomfortable with what I'm saying. It's going to sound full of vitriol, bile, however you want to describe, if you will, the task at hand. But I think it needs to be done so that we can have a clear-cut understanding of my position with these people. You see, these so-called hotep Negroes, these pro-black motherfuckers that run around here acting like goddamn idiots, are usually the ones that love to label people coons. I want you to think about that for a second. Coon. You see, these people, first and foremost, if they so-called loved themselves and they loved black people, would never use the word nigger. They would never use the word coon, sambo, porch monkey. And I know what you're thinking. But you use those words in your videos all the time. Oh, I use them all right. I use them to disparage, as that was the intent. Because no self-respecting black man could ever use the word nigger as a term of endearment. Coon as a term of endearment. But let me get back to task for you. You see, these are the people that love to maintain the status quo. And if you were watching Tommy Sotomayor live last night, you heard me say this. But I'm going to say this again in case people have missed it. These people are the ones who love to maintain the status quo. The real coons, if you ask me, and I'm going to use YouTube as a microcosm for my argument, These are the real motherfuckers who will sit around and argue with you, telling you you're wrong about saying the things you say, yet they're the same motherfuckers who will stand around and record videos and put them on YouTube and WorldStar for fucking video views. These are the same coons, the same Uncle Tom Bojangling, shoe shining, sausage buffing motherfuckers who will sit around at the keyboard being an online warrior, talking about how you shouldn't say this about black women, you shouldn't say this about black men. But yet they refuse to correct that errant sister who walks around displaying her charms for the world to see, embarrassing herself. These are the same people that refuse to help that brother who is struggling to feed his family, so he has to sell drugs. But people who are pro-reality are the coons, yes? Is that your argument? See, I come to understand that these hotep niggas, the ones who claim they love black people so much, are not out there helping black people on a daily. Yet they will be the same idiots that would sit there and decry your position. You can never provide not one fact, not one written document have they to give you. See, my ideal is these are the real agents. These are the people who are put in place by the liberal government, the liberal media, however liberal, whatever liberal policy that they snort up like cocaine up their fucking noses. They breathe, they excrete, they imbibe, and they infect this bullshit standard of black love. Let me tell you something, people. There's nothing wrong with being proud of one's ethnicity. There's nothing wrong with being proud of a society, of who you are, excuse me, and where you come from. But doesn't anyone notice that these same hotep niggas running around here on YouTube, these so-called pro-black idiots, does anybody notice that they have a commonality? These are men and women who either never show their face, or these are men and women who live in fucked up circumstances, bastard children everywhere, failed marriages, have no life, no goal, no ambition, fail to do research, fail to use logic. Does anybody find that strangely odd how these so quote-unquote people love to say they love black men and women, but when you don't agree with them, they're bitches, they're porch monkeys, they're nut guzzlers? Does anybody find that strange? Because I have. See, these coons, and I'm calling them coons because that's exactly what the fuck they are, never gave a shit about black people. And I'm getting sick and tired of looking at these sad sacks of shit tell me that they love black people so much. But you know what's funny? These same coons, especially the ones that live in Chirac, as they affectionately call it, are not going out there and leaning on the police department, leaning on the governor, leaning on the mayor. Hell, even leaning on the president to get off their fucking asses and bring order back to the streets of Chicago. Oh no, we can't do that. Remember, at one point, ladies and gentlemen, New York was rough. See, I've at least seen with my own eyes in New York City that people have actually, black people, have actually come out and marched to stop violence. They actually gone and did their due diligence and pressed the mayor, and in some cases, the governor, and their state assemblymen. Now, we have a system in place where, for the most part, New York is pretty safe. We just have to deal with the minorities being targeted unfairly now. But at least we did something. And the funny thing is, when you look at these hotep niggas, these Egyptology motherfuckers, you know, the ones who are quick to decry Christianity and espouse everything purely African, but yet don't know where the fuck they came from off the old continent. Well, excuse me, their ancestors came from off the old continent. Who does not in any way observe African traditions, that does not take an African name, doesn't even give a shit to go visit the land where their ancestors came from. Isn't it ironic how they can talk to you about Kemet? Isn't it ironic how they can talk to you about this glory ad nauseum? Isn't it ironic how they can sit up there on their high horses and espouse a religious belief, yet they themselves, who claim to believe in so much, do not really believe in anything at all but paying lip service to you, the viewer, to get views, subscriptions, and to get some sort of internet notoriety, all the while trying to make money at your expense. In other words, people, what I just showed you is that these people are treating you as the prostitute and they as the pimp, and by them standing there before their camera trying to explain to you some bullshit that they themselves don't even believe in, they put you to work to make that money for them. Meanwhile, they're enjoying the fruits of your labor, the fruits of your energy, and the fruits of your time. All for what? To empower themselves and make their pathetic lives, which is otherwise meaningless, have some sort of noteworthy appeal. In other words, yet again, let me remind you, these are the people who never gave a fuck about you. See, these coons will stand before you. These coons will get on their internet via phone, tablet, laptop, desktop, however the fuck they gotta do. And instead of taking the time to write letters to the state legislature, instead of taking the time to push and lean on the president, you know what these coons will do? They'll blame guys who are pro-reality. See, these coons would never tell you why they can't really sit around and tell a black woman when she's wrong. These coons can't sit there and tell you. They won't sit there and tell you how to make it in this world. But they'll decry another person for trying to make money doing what the fuck they're good at. And even if the person was making money, what business is it of yours? See, jealousy gets you nowhere, and I want you guys to know, if you pay attention, in each and every one of these fucking coons out here on the internet, there's always a jealous bone in their body. These are the same coons who will swear they're tired of black men killing each other. Yet you have these fucking porch monkeys sitting on the internet 7 days a fucking week talking about, I'm gonna fuck you up real bad. I will beat the brakes off you. You two pussy. Trying to measure their fucking self-worth by the ends of their penises and by their abilities to fight. Let me be real with you. A real brother would say, look, man, we don't have to agree, but there's no reason for us to kill each other over nothing. Oh no, these coons can't say that. See, I'm putting these motherfuckers to the sword because it's time we need to isolate these people for real. We need to expose and mark these sons of bitches, because there's a point in time where you need to realize who is really the wolf and who's really the sheep. And I'm not calling y'all sheep because sheep can't think for themselves. But when we talk about, for the purposes of separating the wheat from the chaff, the wolves amongst you will wear the clothing of the sheep to get close to devour you. So in other words, otherwise, we would never know who they were. So to put marks on these people is to be identifying them. But y'all don't want to hear that, of course. But I'm going to do it anyway. I didn't come to bring, you thought I came. I am not here to send peace. I do not send my peace, but I come with a sword. And I'm paraphrasing this because I want you to understand, I want you to really think about why it is I say the things I say. I'm going to be honest with you and take a few seconds just to explain my position to y'all, so y'all can clearly understand exactly the way I do things the way that I do. Understand that I come from a place of caring, but let's be real. Let's be factual. If we could solve all of our problems for simply being charming and caring and holding hands and being kumbaya, then clearly, black people, we would not be in this position. And although I feel for your plight, my logic and reasoning will not let me give you but so much of a pass. It just won't. No matter how hard it begs me, no matter how much it pleads with me to do it. It just won't happen. Now, I understand I can make exceptions to the rule, but key word here, exceptions to the rule. But the reality remains evidently clear for me. In order to build you guys up, I must first destroy you. I must break you. I must rend you limb from limb, atom by atom, organ from organ, sinew from sinew. I must bring you completely to the ground. Let me liken this to an analogy. You see, I could build a house, or I can buy a house, and that house is pretty strongly built. You know, the floor joists are pretty good. All the load-bearing joints are carrying an equal amount of the load. The wiring is pretty standard. Might be a little substandard for my needs, but we can fix that. The plumbing is, could use some work. But, you know, with a little bit of polish, it's okay. But then I go down to that basement and I see a shitty foundation. And where I'm at is a flood zone. So I know when it floods, my foundation is going to give out. And the four corners of the roof on my house will smite me and kill me. Now I have two choices. I can simply choose not to invest and go elsewhere. Or I can buy this property, raise this thing to the ground, rip out that foundation, and put a stronger foundation in its place. And then put back all new framing. Put back, improve the piping, the electrical work, the masonry. Restore the house to its former glory, only that it is stronger. It's far more beautiful to behold. See, that's the reason why I come to do what I do. I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. But let me get back to these Hotep niggas, and I'm going to let you go real quick because I'm on a tight bit of time. See, these motherfuckers over there love to keep you in bondage. See, by maintaining the status quo, they inevitably keep you, rather inveterably keep you blinded to the truth. And that is, each and every man is accountable for the actions he performs and the words of his voice. And when I say every man, I include women in this, and I don't include you guys insultingly. But the fact of the matter is, these Hotep niggas want to keep you in a position where you will first decry racism for every incident of interracial design. They will get you to say it's racism, which means they show you that you're incapable of using independent thought. Why? Because any man that uses independent thought is automatically considered co-signed to the white man. But let's be realistic. It's not about the things about the white man. It's the fact that these assholes are so ignorant, stupid, and uninformed that they will rather let these other people, otherwise hence known as the Coons, tell them what to really think and feel without thinking and feeling for themselves. So what happens is these race baiters like Al Sharpton and Messi Jackson can get in here and fuck your head up. What happens is out here on the YouTube, these people will stir up and rile up your feelings, not looking at things factually. And what ends up happening is the rest of the world adjudicates you as being an idiot because you refuse to use reasoning and logic and common sense as opposed to just using your pure emotion. And these coons have a field day rallying up a false position, building up this so-called movement. There's no movement at all, because for all the things that they do, not one change has it produced. In the last 15 years, show me what these Hotep niggas have done for the black community. I'll wait. I'll wait. Because they've done nothing. Here it is, you have a person who runs a show for 7 days a fucking week. Yet for some reason, cannot show you one thing he has built other than a website, which, by the way, talks about another man more than anything else. By the way, talks about Egyptology and nothing practical to help a black man fix his problems today. See, the thing is, these coons will give you a fish to eat for one day. But the pro-black reality man will teach you how to fish so you can eat for a lifetime. See, these Hotep niggas will do a few things for you. Not a few things. One, they will keep you ignorant. They will keep you uninformed. They will get you to believe that everything is racially motivated and not realize that you need to take accountability for your own fuck-ups, your own mistakes, your own issues. That's what these motherfuckers will do for you. That's what they'll do. That's what they're good for. But y'all don't want to hear that, do you? I didn't think you did. But yet here you are watching this video. So there must be some level of truth for you. If you're sitting here at the 20-minute and 51st second marker, you're still watching. Because something that I just said stirs a modicum excuse me, not a modicum, but something in there, an iota of truth you have found if you're still sitting here at this point to watch. Now I need to drive this home because I gotta get going. These so quote-unquote pro-blacks never really cared. If I could liken them to how Malcolm X depicted them, those are the real house niggas. They ain't as bad, and some of them are even bad as a one-eyed Charlie, a black slaver. These are the people who profit off your degradation. These are the people who get you to self-deprecate for the world. The world's entertainment. All the while they line their pockets. You really want to know who the real coons are outside of black YouTube? Let's start looking at some of these politicians. Let's start looking at some of these. Let's look at the music industry, the acting industry, who put these ideals out here and know damn well that they make money off your broke black ass and don't give a shit about it. See, those, my people, are the real coons. But here in black YouTube, well, those coons are men who have nothing to show for what they do. Those coons are the people who will tell you that you're wrong but cannot provide any evidence to the contrary. Those coons are the people who will spend their time fucking with you, fucking with your family, fucking with your money, all for a difference of opinion. But yet, when asked to stand on their own and do something worthwhile, they do nothing because they have nothing to show. And they have no idea how to do anything. If you ask me, these house niggas ain't worth the time. I'll be back in a few days to finish off these house Negroes. But I think for now, I've given you guys just enough to think about. So when you come down to this channel looking for change solutions, just understand one simple motherfucking thing. Change starts with one.